Long ago, in a remote village nestled deep within a dark forest, there lived a prosperous man who cherished his wife above all else. They had longed for a child, and after years of waiting, their prayers were finally answered. Yet, as the months passed, the wife grew frail, her strength slipping away like sand through fingers. One bitter winter's day, as she stood beneath the ancient juniper tree in their garden, she whispered a desperate plea to the heavens that her child might inherit the tree's strength. That very night, she gave birth to a son, a boy as beautiful as the dawn, but in doing so, she paid the ultimate price, leaving her husband a widower with a newborn babe in his arms. The man's heart was shattered, but he found solace in his son, whose eyes mirrored the spirit of his lost love. Time flowed like a river, and the man remarried, choosing a woman of striking beauty but a heart as cold as the winter's frost. This new wife bore him a daughter, a sweet and innocent girl, yet in the shadows of her kindness lay the stepmother's growing malice. Every glance at the boy was a reminder of her husband's first wife, a spectre of the past she could never banish. Jealousy curdled into hatred, and she began to plot against the boy, who was oblivious to the venom seeping into his home. One fateful day, when the man was away on business, the stepmother's wickedness reached its peak. With a smile as sharp as a dagger, she called the boy to her side, her voice dripping with false affection. "Come, my child," she said, leading him to the kitchen. "Would you like an apple from the chest?" The boy, trusting and eager, leaned into the chest, and with a swift, brutal motion, she slammed the heavy lid down upon his head. The silence that followed was suffocating, broken only by the drip of blood upon the cold stone floor. The deed was done. Her breath quickened with a twisted sense of triumph, but her work was not yet finished. She carved the boy's lifeless body into pieces, her hands moving with grim determination. The kitchen filled with the scent of simmering stew, and when the father returned, weary and hungry, she served him the gruesome meal. Unaware of the horror before him, he ate, commenting only on the richness of the stew, while the stepmother watched, her eyes gleaming with a cruel satisfaction. But there was another in the house, one who had seen the truth, his sister, the daughter of the wicked stepmother, who had always loved her brother dearly. She stumbled upon the grisly remnants, hidden beneath the kitchen table, and her heart shattered. With trembling hands, she gathered the bones and, through tears that fell like rain, carried them to the juniper tree, the only witness to the dark deed. She buried the bones beneath its gnarled roots, whispering prayers into the wind. As the last of the earth covered the bones, the juniper tree trembled, its branches swaying with an unnatural force. A sudden gust of wind swept through the garden, and from the heart of the tree, a radiant bird burst forth, its plumage glowing with an otherworldly light. The bird circled above, its voice rising in a song that echoed with sorrow and truth. "My mother killed me. My father ate me. My sister gathered my bones and laid them beneath the juniper tree. Tweet, tweet, what a beautiful bird am I." The song hung in the air, haunting and mesmerizing. The bird's melody carried it far and wide, reaching the ears of those in the village. The first to be captivated was a goldsmith, who, upon hearing the bird's mournful tune, was compelled to offer a golden chain. The bird accepted the gift and continued its journey, next enchanting a shoemaker who, entranced by the bird's beauty, presented it with a pair of red shoes. Lastly, the bird flew to a miller whose heart was so moved by the song that he willingly gave up a heavy millstone. The bird, now laden with these gifts, returned to the place of its birth, the juniper tree. Perched on a high branch, it sang its chilling song once more, drawing the family from the house. The father was the first to emerge, his heart stirred by the melody. As he stepped beneath the tree, the bird released the golden chain, which settled around his neck like a royal adornment. The daughter followed, her eyes wide with wonder, and at her feet, the bird gently dropped the red shoes, their color as vivid as her brother's memory. Finally, the stepmother, driven by a mix of fear and curiosity, stepped into the garden. The bird, its eyes gleaming with a cold, knowing light, circled above her. With a final fateful cry, it released the millstone. The heavy stone plummeted from the sky, striking the wicked woman with such force that she was crushed beneath its weight, her cruelty repaid in full. In that instant, as the dust settled, the bird was transformed. In a blinding flash of light, the boy stood before them, reborn from the shadows of death. He embraced his father and sister, their tears now ones of joy and relief. The juniper tree, under which so much had transpired, stood tall and serene, its branches swaying gently in the breeze, as if sighing in contentment. The family, reunited and free from the darkness that had haunted them, lived in peace and happiness. And though the tale of the juniper tree and the miraculous bird spread far and wide, it served as a solemn reminder of the sinister forces that can lurk within even the most beautiful of places, and the enduring power of love and justice to bring light to even the darkest of times.